All right, what is web hosting? All right, so I've done 50-ish websites in the last 2 years with Symphony Advertising, my company, and it's always kind of hard to explain. People who know obviously know, but like people who don't really know domains and hosting, what it is and how it works, it's kind of hard to explain. So a domain is the address to your website. In this case, let's use the company, symphonyadvertising.com. That is the address. Then hosting is where the physical files for your website are kept. It's not like the internet is just mysteriously there, right? There's actual servers, actual places where these files for the pictures, the content, the programming, the software, all the things that are on the internet, they physically have to be somewhere. They don't just exist. Like, that is crazy. They're stored somewhere. And so that's hosting. Usually that will get the point across of what domain and hosting is, web hosting. But sometimes it doesn't. So I'm writing an email to a customer who is getting a website done with this, and I'm trying to explain what it is in a metaphor, because those usually work better. Last week I called somebody about web hosting, that we have to get web hosting now, and they were very confused and they really didn't understand it. They just ended up paying for it because they're like, okay, if we need it, we need it. So here's the analogy I've come up with. A domain is like your home, the address to your home. So let's say symphonyadvertising.com is the address to my home. We can pick any address, that's what's funny, that we want, if it's available. But the actual house, the home, is the hosting. The home is where you keep all your stuff, like your physical stuff is in your home. The physical files for your website are in the hosting. And so again, the pictures, the content, the pages, the blog post, the contact forms, all the JavaScript and programming languages that are on your site, they live in that home. So what's interesting about domain and web hosting is that you can have different providers. So like your domain name could be from Google Domains, it could be from GoDaddy, it could be from Bluehost, and your hosting can be with WP Engine, it could be with Bluehost, it could be with GoDaddy, it could be with Ionos. I do not recommend them. It could be on one-on-one. There's like hundreds of hosting companies, Flywheel, SiteGround. And so what you do is you point your website files to the domain so that people can find your website, or it might be the other way around. It's not that important. But basically, your domain, aka your address, routes people to your actual files. Here they are. Let me show this website. And so that is how I will be explaining it moving forward. I think it's pretty decent. And there's different kinds of hosting. Some hostings are more affordable, some hosting are more expensive. But understanding what you get with it, I think, is what I've been missing as a web design service that we offer. A lot of times we'll go through the whole process and I don't sell the hosting as I should have been. Because usually, like, if somebody wants hosting, if somebody buys a website, we include everything. We include the domain, we include the hosting, if they don't already have that. But what I forget to tell or ask or mention is like, hey, we do have that option. I'm doing a lot better about this now. But because, let me finish that thought. We also offer our own hosting where we take care of, where we get daily backups. We have free SSL certificates. The hosting platform is specific to WordPress hosting, in which we build our sites. We get support with them. The security is high level. We get alerts if there's a problem or a vulnerability with your website. We do monthly updates for you. We do monthly edits for you. We do monthly plugin updates. And basically, we take all the responsibilities from the client having to manage their website. So here's kind of like the big tire. We're not putting this first, because it's lots to explain. It's like sometimes you just want to finish, and I don't want to make people feel like, oh, there's something else. But if I don't do this now, in 8 months, somebody reaches out and says, hey, my website is down, or hey, something's up with my website, or hey, for some reason my website's not loading, or just stuff happens because people don't maintain their sites, and it's because nobody's managing it. Like most of the times, I would say like 8 out of 10 times, 80%, the websites are gonna be fine, especially like local service businesses that it's more of a place to contact you. Like it's not running too many functions. Like it's not e-commerce. It's not like find a location. It's not. It is, but that's pretty simple. They're not super complicated websites. It's just a website with their services and a contact form and a phone number. Basically, it boils down to a version of that. But what ends up happening is, by them not having to take care of the website, of course, most of the time they're not gonna take care of it. They don't know how to make edits. They add weird plugins and it gets out of whack, and then once you put too many Frankenstein the website, it could crash, it could, they cannot be compatible, and it just breaks. And so then it's like, okay, well now I have to redo all your mistakes. I have to find out what the mistakes are. I have to do all this stuff, and if you were just on our hosting plan, we would have done these for you, and if we would have messed up, we just would have reverted back. And I'm starting to see like, it's super worth it. It's super worth it. Like the amount of trouble I've gone with certain clients to fix a site, like it kind of sucks because going through the problem shows how much they need it, right? So like I'm just trying to avoid all that problem so that when the problem happens, it's an easy fix instead of a giant fix. So yeah, domains, hosting, explained.